So remember, this week we are discussing time and sequence, right? So we talked about yesterday how time and sequence, it's important because it helps you connect events and it helps you know the order and things happened. Okay, so we're gonna read a history text, right? And we're going to be focusing on the time and sequence in this text. I'm going to go through and take volunteers who want to read. We've got 5 paragraphs, so that means I'll have 5 volunteers. And Taylani, I saw your hand first, so you can go with paragraph 1.
Imagine that in one day our country doubled in size. That's what happened to the United States in 1803. President Thomas Jefferson asked France to sell the United States a vast area of land. Overnight, America added more than, I don't know this number,
828,000.
828,000 square miles of land west of the Mississippi River. This is known as the Louisiana Purchase.
Perfect. Thank you, Taylani. All right. Do I have somebody who wants to read paragraph 2? Paragraph 2. Jasnor?
Jefferson wanted to know the fastest way across the new land. At the time, there were no maps of the whole country. Jefferson asked Meriwether Lewis to explore the area. Lewis was an army captain home. Jefferson trusted Lewis. Lewis chose other soldier, William Clark, to help him lead the party.
Perfect. Thank you, Jasnor. Sophia, you want to do paragraph 3?
To get ready, they first had a large boat built. The boat took the men down the Ohio River. Then they built a base camp near St. Louis, Missouri. They spent the winter of 1803 there. Finally, on May 14th, 1804, Lewis and Clark began their famous trip into the new territory. 50 men went with them.
All right, thank you. Paragraph 4. Aditri, I saw your hand. You want to read paragraph 4?
Yeah. They traveled for over 18 months. Finally, the group made it to the Pacific Ocean on November 7, 1805. Clark wrote Ocean View. Oh, the joy. The group spent a long, cold winter near the ocean. They began the trip back home in March 1806.
Perfect. Thank you, Aditri. Okay, and then paragraph 5, Marcelo.
The trip back home in March 1806.
All right, perfect. Marcelo, you want to read paragraph 5? Go for it.
Lewis and Clark arrived at St. Louis in September 1806. They were greeted with a big party. A century later, in 1904, the World's Fair was held in St. Louis. People honored Lewis and Clark's journey at the fair.
Perfect. Thank you, Marcelo. Okay, so. All right, so now that we've read the historical article, okay, our close reader habit says underline signal words that tell you the order in which events happened. Think about how those events are related. So what are some signal words, and you can go back and reread, what are some signal words that you see in our reading? So remember yesterday we talked about signal words, which I'll show you here. Signal words were things like first, next, finally, later that year in 1864. So what are some signal words that you see in this article? I'm gonna give some friends a chance to look. Remember, like I said, you can go back and reread if you need to. But you're looking for those signal words. Go back in, looking for words like first, next, finally, maybe giving dates. Okay, and when you find something, if you want to share, tell me the paragraph you're in so I know where you're looking. Okay, Sophia, what paragraph?
Paragraph 3.
Okay.
Sentence. And finally, on May 14th, 1804.
Okay, so finally, that's a big one, right? And then it also, so another thing that gave us it was on May 14th, 1804. Okay. Who else has one? Aditri. Tell me which paragraph.
My paragraph is paragraph 4.
Paragraph 4, okay, and what do you see?
I see finally.
Mm-hmm, good. Finally. Okay. Let's go through, because I think this might be a little easier, and that way we can show everything. Let's go through and look at each paragraph. So let's start with paragraph 1. Do you see any signal words? So something giving us a date or when things happened. Paragraph 1 has 1. Who can tell me the signal word or the date they see in paragraph 1? Saw hand. Cameron? What's it say?
Eight, 2, 8. Looks like a period. I don't know what that is.
Are you looking at this number or this number? Because the one we want is actually this one. So in 1803.
Yeah, that's why I was checking.
Perfect. So you want to make sure you underlined in 1803. And that's all there is in paragraph 1. In paragraph 2, there's actually none. No signal words in paragraph 2. In paragraph 3, we found 1. And there are 1, 2, there's 3 more. So now we're in paragraph 3. There are 3 more in paragraph 3. Who can tell me one of them? Nayeli?
the 1803.
So the winter, we're gonna add that part too. The winter of 1803.
Do we have to underline this stuff or
Yep,
no?
you need to be underlining all this stuff. Okay. There are, what did I say, 3? So there's 2 more in paragraph 3. Kylie? First, good, right up here. They first had a large boat built. Okay, there's 1 more in paragraph 3. Marcelo?
Forgot.
You forgot it. Okay, that's fine. Does anybody else see the other one? There's 1 more in paragraph 3. Zelda?
Third sentence in the third paragraph. First word. Then.
Then. Right there. Good job. Okay, now we're in paragraph 4. And in paragraph 4, we got finally, and there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 more in paragraph 4. Cameron, what's one you see? Hope you gotta unmute first, Cameron, if you're saying something.
I see 1806.
1806, yep, and we're gonna include March too. So March 1806. Good job, Cameron. Marcelo, you have another one?
1805. November 1805.
Good, November 7th, 1805. And there's 1 more. 1 more. It might be a little trickier to find, but it's there. I'll give you a hint that it's in a sentence we already took something from. Kylie?
Then.
Then. Good. And then in paragraph 5, there are 1, 2, 2. There are 2 in paragraph 5. Who wants to tell me the 2? Natalie?
In 1904.
And it's actually that part right before it. So a century later in 1904. Good. And there's 1 more. Olivia?
September 1806.
Okay, September 1806. Okay, so hopefully you guys got all those. I promise there was a reason we did it. So I'm gonna leave that up and I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to make sure you got all of them. 2 minutes to make sure you get all of them, and there's a reason you need them. Okay, we've got about 1 more minute and then we're gonna turn the page. Okay, so now if you turn the page, we'll go to page 41. You're gonna see why we underlined all that stuff. So it says, reread the text to find out the events of Lewis and Clark's journey. List those events in the graphic organizer. So we underlined all those signal words so we can use them to fill in our organizer. Okay, so they did the first one for us. It says, first, President Jefferson asked Meriwether Lewis to explore the new land. Okay, using that stuff we underlined, somebody tell me what happened in the winter of 1803. What happened in the winter of 1803? So look for that 1803 date. Reread a little more. Kylie, I see your hand. What happened in winter 1803?
They stayed there.
They stayed where? That's supposed to be capitalized.
Mount Rushmore.
It's in St. Louis. You guys are writing this.
Okay.
Good job, Kylie. So in the winter of 1803, Lewis and Clark spend winter in St. Louis. So everybody is writing this. Okay, next up we have May of 1804. What happened in May of 1804? Aditri, what happened?
Lewis and Clark began their famous
Perfect.
new territory.
So all you need to write is Lewis and Clark began their journey. Okay. Next up, I see people still writing, so I'm gonna wait a minute. Okay, somebody tell me what happened in November of 1805. November 1805. Taylani? Uh-oh. Try saying that again, Taylani. It's weird. I feel like I can hear your background, but I can't hear you. Okay, try again.
Do you already know?
Yeah, now I
The group spent a long, cold winter near the ocean.
So you can even shorten that a little bit for our writing sake, and we're gonna say Lewis and Clark reach the ocean. All right, and then finally, somebody tell me what happened in September of 1806. September of 1806. What happened? Look in what you underlined, it'll tell you. An even bigger hint, look at the last paragraph. The first sentence of the last paragraph. Oh, Marcelo, I see your hand up. Marcelo, what happened?
They were greeted with a big party.
Yeah, so in order to be greeted with a big party, Lewis and Clark returned home. Okay, giving some friends some time to catch up. All right, if you are done, turn to page 44. Okay, I'm gonna check in, see if it looks like anybody's still writing. I'm not seeing that. Okay, so here's what I want you guys to do, okay? So I'm gonna give you a couple options. If you want to go try and do this writing on your own, you can. If you want to stay here with me and do it with me, you can. But when we finish this writing, we're gonna take, it says, when the party started their trip, Spain owned New Mexico. The Spanish didn't allow traders from the United States to sell their goods there. As the party made its way, however, the Spanish lost control of New Mexico. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. That was not making sense. Sorry, this is where you're going. 3, 4, 5. Let's try that again. That was my bad. Okay, reading paragraph 3. It says, to get ready, they first had a large boat built. So that's the first thing I'm gonna write. That sounds pretty important because they couldn't take their journey without building a boat. So I'm gonna write that right there. First, they built a big boat. Okay, then I'm gonna say, next, okay, so first they built a big boat. Next, they went to St. Louis. Yes, Aditri.
Oh, never mind. At first, for the first, they built a big boat. You didn't put a comma after first. That was what I was going to say.
Okay, but then I went back and added it.
You already put it.
Okay, so first they built a big boat, then they went to St. Louis, right? Okay, finally, on May 14th, 1804, they began their famous trip into new territory. So I'm gonna write that. In 1804, comma, they began their famous trip Yes, Aditri?
When you started on that sentence, weren't you supposed to say finally in 1804 and blah blah blah?
Nope, because it's not the last thing I'm doing. I'm going to add more.
Weren't you? Oh.
So usually finally would be if I'm writing the last thing, or I'm going to have more. Okay, then if I read paragraph 4, right? They made it to the Pacific Ocean. So I'm going to write in, did it give me a year? I'm going to, yeah, in 1805, they made it to the Pacific Ocean. And then I'm going to add my finally. Finally, They returned home. And I'm gonna make sure I have my right date in 1806.